I hope they got paid. I hope they got their money.
I think
And I hope
we can count on that.
I hope that that's the case. Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching Hocus Pocus 2. This is So I'm Watching This Show, your new favorite pop culture YouTube channel where we talk about movies, TV, music, and more. As always, this is a spoiler show. You have been warned. As mentioned, we are watching Hocus Pocus 2. Play a clip. Make sure it has Hannah Waddingham in it. That's all we need.
I banish thee from Salem forever.
They were right to fear thee. Magic has a way of uniting. Happy 16th birthday, child.
I tried so hard. I was on its side. I was trying so hard.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not here to yuck anybody's yum.
No, I want everyone to know that I am happy a new generation has a movie like this.
So happy for the Disney Plus kids that get to have their Halloween hype and they got silly things that they recognized. And, you know, I think that that's great. This didn't work for me.
No.
And
Not very good.
We're going to have a conversation about that. I'm going to talk about a handful of ways I think they could have or should have taken it.
Okay.
Where do you want to start? Is there anything broad you want to say, or was there anything that you liked?
Well, I liked Hannah Waddingham, and I actually didn't hate the new girls, the teens.
When they decided the movie was about them in the last 30 minutes, yeah.
Exactly. And I'm always here for Tony Hale. He was sort of hysterical.
I was real nervous. I was real nervous with the energy he was bringing early on, and he's one of the few that managed to tread water through this. Okay. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say something brave. The first movie's not that good. It's a weird movie. It was a bomb when it came out. If you look at it, step back objectively, it's a very strange movie. It's weirdly dark. There's juvenile and adult elements at odds with each other. And then there's this absolutely insane trio, the performances from the three of them, that is not in that movie. But somehow, against all odds, and I think there's a janky 90s movie charm to it, that it so much feels like a 90s movie in all of the weirdest, best ways.
Well, it's also steeped in a type of nostalgia that, like, our generation has. So it's like, there's a whole swath of movies like that got made that are, like, very medium and, like, a medium budget, but, like, we have a fondness for them. I don't even have that fondness, really. I think Hocus Pocus is just fine.
I have a passing fondness for it. It is that weird at odds element. I think the fact that it's kind of dark whilst being essentially chill family entertainment, I think that's where it was successful, is I think a lot of the kids who like it were responding to their first taste of spooky.
Sure.
A lot of people have moments of awakening in their lives, sexual awakening, you know, like different. And I think that the spooky, when you decide that you like Halloween, when you have, and especially growing up in like the 90s, because it was on the backs of the 80s, Satanic Panic.
Oh, yeah.
It's all over Buffy. Like, it's all over a handful of stuff there. And I think it was the combination of things, and then the nostalgia. This is largely because it got popular when they started playing it on ABC Family in like 2012.
Yeah.
That's where this renaissance happened.
31 Days of Halloween. Yeah, 100%. Then in that case, you're totally right. I would argue this movie basically took away all of those things. It's not very dark.
No,
it's not subversive or like weird at all.
This is a pandemic streaming movie.
Yeah.
It feels like a pandemic streaming movie.
Yeah.
It feels like a cash grab in a way that, and I mean, I just sort of dogged the original. Is this hallowed ground?
No, I mean, not for me.
I think this is one of the things where I think this sequel should have been for the people that loved the first one.
Sure.
So I think it should have been a little bit more adult. I think it should be family accessible.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the main characters either should have been adults or new, because what I was wanting was the evolution. Because witchcraft is in vogue right now.
Yep.
It is very popular. And I was trying to imagine what the Sanderson sisters 30 years later would be. And part of me wanted it to be sort of the reverse, where it's like they come back to this world that loves them. Are they queens in this world?
Sure.
Are they, or I was maybe hoping it would go a mild spoilers for Babysitter Killer Queen. I was hoping that maybe we would have other characters. And I think the three of them, especially after seeing this, needed a maximum of 15 minutes in this movie.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I wish it hadn't been about them. And like to jump all the way to the end, they just got like really delightful closure.
Are they heroes or villains?
Are
they evil? Are they good? It's the Maleficent conundrum.
Yes.
They can't decide if it's Cruella. They cannot decide what they're doing, because there were tiny moments that worked for me. For instance, towards the end, when Winifred comes down and grabs, was it Cassie? Yeah, Cassie. Mm-hmm. That actually startled me.
Yeah.
In a way that is, again, accessible to young people.
Mm-hmm.
I wish there were more actual scary moments. Not a lot, but a couple. I think the slapstick needed to be dialed down. And again, I know that it was very slapsticky the first time, but that was a fluke.
Yeah.
Is it working?
Here's the thing, too. I think their performances in the original movie are like actually pretty masterful. This was embarrassing.
I was trying so hard to be on their side. There was a derangement to all three of them, but especially Sarah Jessica Parker in the first one, that it's like, I know she's the bimbo, but I don't know. There was just something.
Yeah. It's just not quite right. It was, they were too over the top. They were too, like, a little stupid.
When we opened up with those three girls, and I was like, God bless them.
Tried so hard again.
God bless them. They were doing very good pantomime for child actors.
Yeah.
But I was just sort of like, ugh.
It was kind of, that episode of New Girl where they're trying to pay for Schmidt's bachelor party. And so they're like renting out the rooms. And there's like a family with a little girl that wants to do auditions. And she just comes out so hot doing nothing but Al Pacino. It was and Schmidt is like, I can feel you doing a monologue. Just please don't do a monologue.
I wish there were three more witches. Like there should have Hannah Waddingham and Courtney Cox and Michelle Pfeiffer or something should have come in and taken over, and the Sanderson sisters should have been like, not on my watch.
Sure.
Like there just should have been
like, and also,
the next evolution of.
What was the point of Hannah Waddingham?
Mother Witch is literally her name. And
yes, but like
Rachel was supposed to sit in with us, and she couldn't do it.
No.
She couldn't do it. And she hated she couldn't conjure a single thing that she liked. Because she was even complaining. She was like, what was with Hannah Waddingham's costume? It was awful. And I was
was a little weird.
It was a little escapade-y.
Yeah, but like, I just don't. Don't we get an origin for how they became witches in the first one?
I don't remember.
No, I don't remember either.
I think it's the hanging them. The first one's about them eating children. And it's like, it just, there's more material. There's so much more to work with in witchcraft than just sort of kind of hitting all the same notes you did the first time.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they didn't understand salt. And
that didn't make any sense either. Also, okay, here's a really big question. So they got their powers when they were 16.
Mm-hmm.
That first of all,
Winifred did. I didn't realize the other two didn't have powers.
Sure. So I don't
that.
think they have like zappy powers because like Sarah Jessica Parker,
she's a siren.
She can like sing or whatever. But my thing is like, then they are like adult women when they're hanged. Were they just living in the woods the whole time?
Yeah, they were wreaking havoc.
Okay.
So they have presumably been feasting on children. You know what I mean? Like there's darkness that the first one threatens you with.
Yeah.
That this one hand waves away with what's a virgin. And it's like, and it smacks of it's sort of like I said, because this was rated PG. There's things that traditionally, at least, you've been able to do in a PG movie.
Yeah.
Like the word virgin, or to even acknowledge that sex exists.
Yeah.
And because it's also a really bold stance. I mean, granted, she is north of 35, Sarah Jessica Parker this time, but it's like her character is sexy.
Yeah.
It's the bosom, it's the bloomers and the garters and stuff. And so it's just sort of like, because Disney, it's like PG has become the new G. There's no G anymore. It's now PG, PG-13, and R. And any sex and nudity has been moved expressly into the R lane.
Yeah.
And I'm not here, like, I can hear comments already where they're like, you wanted sex in this movie?
No,
and
but it's like a tasteful side boob is like a whole different thing.
No, it's just the whitewashing of it.
Yeah.
It's just the everything being so stripped bare. And there were so many implications in this that I found staggering, because the book had liquid. It had like
it was sweating
and cry. And I don't know what the eyeball I was fine with, but the notion that it was sweating was
it is
shocking to me.
It is made out of human skin.
Oh,
it's like a Necronomicon.
And even like there's a handful of things, like the Roomba thing was really dumb, but then they almost earned it by making the Roombas characters.
Yeah.
And then having them save them. But like that was one of the parts, as juvenile as it is, it worked for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think ultimately I really wish that instead of remember this, I wish it was the next step,
like a next
in the
evolution, 100%
of this story, and what a scary horror comedy family movie about witchcraft would look like.
I'm trying to think. I feel like we did another kind of like legacy movie that had a modern entry that worked better than this, but I can't remember what it was.
I mean, I know we have. I can't.
Yeah, I can't pick one out, but it's just like, you're totally right. You can't just be like, remember when Sarah Jessica Parker said amok a lot? She's gonna do that again. And it's like, great,
so the thing is,
but
she should have done, if that's the game we're playing, it's not the word amok, it's the vocal pattern. So there should have been another word.
Because like my favorite part of Sarah Sanderson in this movie was when she spread out going into the splits in the hallway. That's hilarious.
That was yeah. There were tiny little glimpses. I wanted more of Cobweb. I wanted the cat. I didn't need Billy Butcher. That was so weird.
It is Doug Jones though. So
no, I love Doug Jones, but that was so weird that he wasn't Winifred's boyfriend. They just kissed once. Yeah. So was he Sarah's boyfriend?
No, because he was like, I mean, I don't think so. I think
I completely miss that?
I think he just got caught in the crossfire.
Oh, I don't know.
That was apparently the same wig as from the first movie.
That's fine. Froy Gutierrez, I adore him. Mm-hmm. This wasn't really it. He didn't flounder.
Need to be. The character didn't need to exist.
Well, and I appreciate that beat, that he was a little bit of a himbo, where it was like he didn't realize he was bullying them. He thought he was just having conversation.
Yeah.
But that character beat and that observation is so far above what his character was in this movie.
Exactly.
Like, that was character growth for a character arc we did not see.
100%. Absolutely.
And it like took Cassie way too long to get involved in this.
Okay. It also, Becca and Izzy, I thought they were cute. I think they're good. You know, keep making Disney movies. We're good. I had a humongous issue with the fact that it took to the 75% mark of this movie for her to be like, "Oh my God, you're a witch." You literally did a spell. The candle flame turned black, and the earth opened beneath you, and you summoned 400-year-old witches. What did you think for the whole evening was happening?
They were in a Disney movie in a way that, what's his face?
Okay, but they were in like a 90s Disney movie. They were in like Rip Girls.
Yeah,
or like Xenon.
I mean more. They're in like the Descendants.
Yeah.
Like zombie university or whatever. Like
I meant mine as a compliment. Those 90s Disney movies are titties.
But the boy from the first one, I don't remember his name. The girl was Allison.
Oh, yeah.
They were like teenagers, but it was like they were like, I don't know. And maybe this is minus all. Well, Thora Birch was the child perspective.
The like kid.
There was a life and death stakes that wasn't in this.
Yeah, they wanted to kill Thora Birch.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
She really wanted to be in the movie, but she was like working on another project and she couldn't do it. But she really wanted to be involved. And I'm just
I wonder what that could have.
Me too. Because it's also so weird that Sam Sanderson, that Gilbert was like kind of involved. It's like they sort of retconned that he saw
on an
them.
Adventure,
yeah, it was weird. It was like kind of a schizophrenic movie, and then none of it was really paid off the way that it should have, or you thought it was going to.
And it's not that I didn't want a musical number, because the first one very clearly has a musical number, but I wanted it to feel or like it came from somewhere. And not that it was because it had to be.
Also, isn't that the same song?
No. So I Put a Spell on You in the first one.
Right. Okay. That's better.
Because I liked the One Way or Another, and especially when it got into the angry mob. But there were so many moments, because like when the mob was trying to find the mayor, and then they find him, and it's like, I thought that they were going to like take him and carry him off. And I kept waiting for that kind of like, and it didn't happen. And you were like, well, I mean, they only told them to find them. And I'm like, to find him. And I'm like,
but then we also don't acknowledge that.
No.
Which, like so many things where something like that happens, they acknowledge that their wording was off, like, later. I don't know.
And, I mean, I don't know. This is an example. You said there was something recently we watched. But, for instance, you know, the last two Halloween movies, they don't hold up to scrutiny from a logic place.
Sure.
But from a enjoyable, like, slasher movie, they feel,
especially the first one.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, I was gonna say also The Matrix.
Yeah, but that wasn't really well received either.
No, but I think we thought it held up.
We thought it was interesting.
Yeah, and so, but that's the thing, is like, this was also not interesting.
It's really boring.
Yeah. Do you know what I started doing? My mind was wandering, and I was remembering, like,
we were on its side for a good.
For a good
20 minutes. We were
30,
like, come on.
But I was remembering the first podcast I ever listened to, which was about Gilmore Girls, and I was trying to see if I could find it so I could re-listen to it.
It's not my goal to batter this movie. I'm not trying to give it a hard time. I'm just sort of giving my explanation.
I think it's...
And there was a handful more moments that I wanted to touch on. There's one, it was the Halt the projector moment for me. I almost flipped the table. Because they're going through town looking for the mayor.
The mayor, Tony Hale, yeah.
And they look into one apartment where it's like an older couple is watching the first Hocus Pocus movie.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I don't. Because it would have been funny.
Is that a dramatization of what?
So that's what I was going to say, is it would have been funny if this movie presented like what you were saying, where like they come back and they're kind of like local heroes or something, or like local celebrities. Heroes is not right. But then they don't do that.
It was a reality bending.
Yeah.
I mean, because I think most people are going to be like, you're overthinking it. I'm like, I really don't think I am.
It was dumb.
I think I am taking it at face value. What does that mean?
It was a dumb thing to include. Like, why would you include that? Like, have them watching an episode of Bewitched or something.
Because it was footage from the first movie. If they had somehow reenacted the first movie, then I could then it would be more of an in-world nod, I think. Sure. But there was something about that I was just sort of like, I beg your pardon.
It was really weird. It was quite strange.
I did want to say I liked the handful of scenes that were on the soundstage with the giant fake moon.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that energy. Ginger Minge and Cornbread, the snack jeté, and Kimora Hall were in the movie. I'm not entirely sure why they each got a line. But it felt like, I mean, I know that the three of them are someone to us.
Sure.
But they're three drag queens. And then there is a line where the MC refers to the Sanderson sisters as fellas. But that was not a drag contest, other than...
No, it was just like a costume. contest.
And part of me was like, well, if you're going to do it, then do it. Make it a drag. Like, if they're not going to be Queen of Salem, then let them become Queen of the Gays in this, like, WeHo Halloween party. I don't know. There's just, I've said it twice already. I'll say it a third time. I think it needed to be a conversation on where we are now with both the movie and, because there's something to be said about the fact that the movie bombed and now is this huge success. So it's like, we used to hate them, but now they're great.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And just the sentimental thing was crazy. Because you'd be hard-pressed to know Winifred even liked.
Because even up until 5 minutes before that happened, she's calling them useless and shit. And I was like, I don't really get what message we're trying to say, because then they essentially got to go dust on the wind and disappear into the great hereafter. And I'm like, what?
But there's another candle.
Yeah, it did set up for a third movie.
But that was even presented so stupidly because I thought Cobweb was doing something. Yeah. And I was like, oh, Cobweb's magic. Like, there's something. And it's like, oh, no, Cobweb just walked past the second candle.
Yeah. They also did, the sisters did think that he was Binks at the beginning. But also, like, how? Because were they not still there when they released Binks from the curse?
I don't remember.
I mean, what are we doing? You're bending over backwards, working overtime to like shine a flashlight on the fact that this is a sequel to the movie that people love, but you're also not following your own in-world rules. Sloppy.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
She did it like 5 times.
Who did?
Kathy Najimy.
Oh,
the bye-bye. It's what she does at the end of the first movie. And if she did it at the end when she was evaporating, I would.
No, she was scared and sad when that would have been so stupid. Ugh. I don't know. It's not for me. I'm sorry. I wanted to like it. I was encouraged by the trailer, if I'm being honest, and it did not live up to it for me.
We're sorry, or you're welcome.
Yeah.
You like and subscribe and patron, and
if you like the original Hocus Pocus, you can go over to moviepalette.com and get a beautiful stripy piece of art that's based on that. And if you use the code SHOW15, you get 15% off.
It's really cool. They take a color from every scene of the movie and condense it into a schematic.
Yeah.
It's really awesome. That is the movie Showgirls. And also, we did cover the original movie.
Yes.
It was like our second or third video.
Yep, ever.
On YouTube. So if you want to watch that, I think we could
link it.
So, yeah.
Okay. Bye.